I am a consultant with RRS, but also one of the staff team members that leads our NextCycle Michigan initiative. I've been working with this program for the past 2 to 3 years and have been really familiar and been working with many teams in and out of the cohorts for different tracks and focus areas. So what is NextCycle Michigan, right? NextCycle in Michigan is one of the many regional initiatives that RS manages. Michigan is the most robust, I will say, that is funded through Eagle, and we manage this initiative that's designed as a circular economy accelerator that we help identify businesses that can help diverse waste away from Michigan landfills who are based in Michigan that can apply to Michigan, but also those solutions who are investable in, that can be scaled into a more advanced either technology or application that can be applied into the Michigan market. So what we do here is to connect the dots between entrepreneurs, businesses, companies, organizations, or the public sector communities. We introduce them to the technical support in the recycling space with financial resources and pointing them to the right resources of different funding opportunities, as well as help them with capacity building that's needed for their recycling, recovery, and reuse initiatives. So this program truly offers a really wide variety of pathways to advance whatever projects that you guys are working on related to recycling, recovery, and reuse in the state through these accelerator programs. Provide you with a rich access to data sets as well as partner connections. This program is designed to be collaborative in nature, not only in the sense where we connect people and ideas with the right partnership, with the right funding resources, but also in the sense that the organizations that are managing this are coming together to make NextCycle Michigan a reality, are a collaboration by nature. So again, like I mentioned, this initiative is funded supported by the Michigan Department of Environment, Great Lakes, and Energy. We call them EAGLE. RRS as one of the leading solution providers in the sustainable management space in the country. We are the one that's managing the program, supporting with the technical assistance and subject matter expertise in the recycling space to these teams. And also we work with two other partners. As you can see on the screen, MRC stands for Michigan Recycling Coalition. They are our Michigan's state recycling organization who is extremely well connected, not only in the policy advocacy space, but also with a lot of connections to our public sector recycling communities and leaders. Another partner of ours is Centropolis Accelerator, which is housed under the Lawrence Tech University in Michigan. And they are one of the leaders in providing expertise in business development and hardware manufacturing and funding and investment opportunities. So again, this platform is designed to connect and build this ecosystem where entrepreneurs and private sector leaders, as well as the public sector communities, all come together to nurture this ecosystem and to elevate these platforms and partnerships. So a quick highlight on what makes our Circular Accelerator program. As you can see, there are 3 milestones, starting from an Accelerator Academy, which is, once the teams are selected into the cohort, we will try to level set all the selected teams by having everyone be in the same space in person. Usually we host a 2-day event, sometimes it's 1.5 days, but this is where we get to meet everyone in person and try to understand the projects in detail and try to come up with some strategies to curate the top priorities that we can help you in this cohort. Not only that, this is also a time where we pull together very rich panels and experts to curate these workshops related to business development, modeling on impacts, marketing, partners identification, as well as try to understand your supply chain needs. So it is a very kind of like intense 2 day workshop timing, but usually our teams walk away with an extreme level of rich information, some great partnerships or networking opportunities once they are done with these 2 days. So we are usually very excited about that event to kick us off for the entire cohort. After that, teams will enter into these virtual coaching and working time period, and they will be set up to meet with their designated coach either on a biweekly or monthly cadence, depending on what the needs, best timing, and availabilities are. And again, usually those happens online, so you don't need to travel every month to meet with your coach. Depending on your identified priorities, we could try to focus those coaching sessions around whatever you need, either business planning, financial projection, marketing strategies, or it can be more technical specific on recycling industry knowledge. Say, let's try to identify a site for your composting project. Then Nicole, who is here on the call with us today, will become your expert to help you design a site, identify a site, and then work through some of the permitting process. So we have a wide variety of topics, again, working with your coach to identify what those needs are. Once we approach the end of that virtual coaching period, the culminating event for this program is a 1 day in-person showcase where you get to come together again with your cohorts to present your project in a 5-minute pitching format in public, right? This will be a showcase event that we will invite a lot of either industry stakeholders, decision makers, funders, investors, as well as community leaders, EGO representatives, and all of these important people in the room. And you'll get to present 5 minutes, but also we have a judge panel who provide you with feedback and questions for another 5 minutes to get to know more about your projects and your needs and your asks. And in the end, the best pitching teams will walk away with some cash awards, maybe not so much to move your entire project, but this will be a nice cherry on top to end this program. So the two focused areas we are prioritizing, we're prioritizing for this upcoming cohort. The first one is related to recycling technologies. If you have been following NextCycle Michigan the past couple of years, you will probably hear a lot of these acronyms, including RIT and flows. We have made a decision collectively with our team to move forward without acronyms to make it more straightforward and accessible for people who are less familiar with NextCycle. So recycling technologies really is our focus to attract projects that are cutting edge in terms of innovation and novelty for recycling technologies that can advance the recycling process, either from waste prevention perspective or collection or processing or even end market expansion. So that could be, as you can see on the screen, batteries related, solar panels related, textile could be a really good topic. Fiberglass has emerged to be another area that has a lot of gap in the state. And another exciting opportunity for this upcoming cohort is wind turbines. DTE, as one of our major sponsors for this next cohort, has identified this needs and also set up an innovation challenge to help attract and award solutions that can further advance wind turbine recycling. So far, this is an area that nobody has cracked the codes. And we hope through this cohort, we're able to attract some solutions and some teams across the nation to come to Michigan and try to tackle that challenge. And when it comes down to organic solutions, this is where we're talking about either reduction and recovery of materials related to organics materials, including food waste, including wood, agricultural waste, composting, infrastructure expansion, or rescuing and food access management solutions. So there are a whole bunch of organic waste gaps and needs in the state that we definitely want to address, hence, a dedicated track to it. So moving forward, let's talk about who can be eligible as an ideal team for this upcoming cohort. So we are looking at any individual organizations in the private sector for the recycling technologies. And for the organics one, it could be public or it could be also the private sector. But not only a private, entity, but it could be a one-person team, it could be a very earlier stage startup, or it could be an established company, but you're working on a new initiative that you believe will be able to, scaled or replicated in other areas through either a small pilot or into this innovative partnership with someone else outside of your company. So we do encourage that cross-sector collaboration. And if you have already identified a partner you want to co-apply, that's definitely welcomed and encouraged as well. So, speaking of teams, we do have a wonderful alumni today with us, and we will love to have them share what they have been through with NextCycle and what their highlights are walking away from the program.
Yeah, thanks for having us. Happy to share our experience here. So we started a company called Grand Rapids Compost, and we're focused on collecting post-consumer food waste, residential food waste. So we are both collecting it and processing it and turning it into like a soil amendment product, not like a higher end compost, worm compost. This is something that we've been doing for a while, but went through a lot of changes and was part of a farm. And we decided that we wanted to grow this and turn it into its own company. And so we applied for the accelerator and got in, and it was a huge jump start. So we just finished it this past summer in June. So we're only a couple months into it here, but yeah, I guess for people that are on the call here that are new, I think just from our experience, like from the start, the 2-day boot camp experience there was a good way just to get to know other teams and get a feel for who you're going to be working with and who all's out there. But one thing that we really appreciated is that NextCycle is bringing together. There's like a whole community of people involved in this sort of stuff, and they're not necessarily all working with each other or connecting with each other or even know each other. But NextCycle is that main hub that has connections with everybody in that community. So you have access to a whole world of people in all different sectors that you probably will connect with or may be of use or mutual benefit. So that was one big plus. But the 2-day workshop to start out with was really helpful just to get to know other people and have some face-to-face time with who your coaches are. And then for us, I mean, it was a relatively simple business, but we didn't know really anything about, do we need a license to haul, and do we need a license to actually compost it? And then we had a lot of graphic design issues, questions, and no background in that. And so we got a lot of help from MRAD on that. Still loving what she came up with for us. And then just all the basic questions, even like we didn't have a business designation. So do we set up an LLC, or do we turn this into some other type of business designation? So we got help looking at all the different options for that. And yeah, I mean, it was relatively simple process because it's just a call every couple of weeks or whatever you set up. And I would say you want to nail down what it is that you actually need help with, and really take advantage of the time that you have, because it does go by quick. And this is the opportunity to fine tune all the loose ends that you have for whatever your project is. So trying to identify where your areas of weakness are, what you actually need help with, and really hitting that hard in your meetings and trying to wrap all that stuff up in the 3 months or whatever, 4 months, whatever it is. That would be my advice. And then the final capstone event is like, well, you got to pull it all together. So there's a lot of work to be done to get to that point. And I mean, for us, we really felt like that did that was what we needed to really actually launch it. So we finished that in June, and then that was end of June, 4th of July. We did a parade, and yeah, we did 2 parades in the neighborhood, and we got like 2 subscribers that day from that.
Yeah.
And so we're like, all right, I guess we better get on the road and start this thing. So we did a pilot program, which we were just finishing now. So we did like a free 6-week trial. It took a little while to get everybody on board and started there. So I think our last 6 weeks is up this week. So and then we also offered a 6-week option for people that just wanted to try it out. So it's just a cheaper way to get in. So I think we've signed on everybody that did the 2-week trial for a permanent. And then we had somebody that paid for a 6-week trial. They signed on and paid for an annual subscription. So it's been a slow start. We've had a lot of interest, but I feel like because of NextCycle, we actually we got picked up by Kent County and we're listed on their website, and that's already generated quite a few calls. And so, I mean, somebody was here on vacation from another state, found us online, and brought me a bunch of corn and watermelon rinds. So we've added a couple new people just to drop off brain compost here. Getting people to subscribe has been a little harder than we thought, but we're still in the beginning stages of it, and definitely getting calls every week. And it's been generating a lot of interest, and we have a lot of other things in the works, so we feel really optimistic about it. But yeah, what else do you want to add?
Well, I would just say the help and the support that we received from the NextCycle team was so valuable to us, because I'm sure so many of you can relate, but we have, full-time other things going on in our lives. So to try to launch a business, we needed the help and the support, and we also needed a time frame. We needed the deadlines, of we have to be done with it by this time. So for us, we don't really feel like we would have launched if we didn't have the deadline, the showcase in June that we were a part of. But also, I just want to say, everybody that we worked with, just the best people ever. And we had fun. Thank you. You guys all made it so much fun. So we would highly recommend it.
Thank you so much, Luke and Nicole, for that. We opened applications for this new cohort on, right after our Labor Day weekend on September 2nd. We are setting the deadline to receive applications by the end of October 29th. So we're basically at the halfway point through, and happy to report we've already received about a dozen of applications in draft and submitted. So that's great progress so far. Usually we get folks to submit everything in the last week or in the last 24 hours. So good to see people are already coming and submit. So today marks our first application party. We will have another one in a week or so on October 8th. That one will happen during lunchtime. So if you're aware of any other folks who will be interested in this conversation, let them know, and register for the next application party / information session. So in December, before December, after our application portal is closed, we'll work through a professional judge panel or evaluation panel to decide which teams in all of the applicants pool to be selected into the cohort. So the hope is in early December, before the holiday, of Christmas holidays, we will be able to notify the selected teams about, the news that either they get selected or maybe not, so they can prepare for the upcoming months after the holidays. The plan for the new year is in January, we'll work with all the selected teams to go through onboarding process, start the progress on your work plan development. And that is, again, goes back to what I mentioned before. This is where we match you with a coach to identify your top needs and your priorities you want to focus on for the program. And I should mention that it's not a cut it one for all kind of solutions we're providing here. We will curate our coaching to whatever you need, right? So I just want to emphasize that. So the work plan is a crucial tool that we utilize to keep track of the progress and your priorities that may be switching, halfway through and stuff. And then End of January will be our in-person event to kind of like level set and get everybody together. That's our Accelerator Academy. We're so close to identifying a venue, but the dates are pretty much set here. Either 27, 28, or 28, 29th. We'll get the dates finalized very shortly here. Emrod is our lead, and she is working very, very hard on getting those details finalized. So January and June will be the main coaching period, and then June, sometime in the summer, sometime somewhere in Michigan, we'll host our 1 day in-person showcase. So that's the key timeline, so that everyone is aware. Emphasizing again, we're in the middle of our application period. What you could do to learn more about what questions are asked is you can simply go onto the nextcyclemichigan.com website, click on the green button. If you see on the screen here, on the top right corner, there's a highlight in green button that called apply. You can click into that. It will allows you to download an application packet, which is a very thorough information packet that includes our application questions and evaluation metrics, which is very helpful for those of you who are attending this conversation and this meeting right now. Not everyone is aware of those evaluation metrics attached in the end of those information packet, but those will be the criteria the judges or the evaluation panel will use to, score and make selection decisions. And then we'll definitely encourage you to start early to submitting your draft. You don't have to, once you start your draft, you don't have to submit them immediately. You can save them as a draft. And as long as you are able to submit them by October 29th, that will count. Although I really, really rather you don't do it till the last minute. It always gives me anxiety to see. Please submit. You've dedicated so much time to this. Please make sure it counts. So application support. We are here, really, we're committed to providing a lot of these resources to make sure teams or companies or all of you who are interested in can have the support you want and you deserve. So outside of the information packet that I just described, on the website, there is a place where you can click. It's called Resource Library. Will help you get access to the Michigan gap analysis, which is the document and the data set that helps inform us on what gaps we want to address through NextCycle Michigan. And there's a very tremendous level amount of data and information on either the ton of materials that we really need to divert or we have been diverting by material streams in Michigan. So definitely recommend you guys go through that. And then you can also schedule office hours with us. I'm one of the people who are hosting the office hours, so I look forward to seeing them coming into my calendar. But yeah, that's basically all the key information we want to share today on how to get involved. Also recommend you follow NextCycle Michigan's LinkedIn account. That's where we're posting many important milestones and updates through that platform. So share with your network and partners and apply if you have a project.